this chapter, please go for highlighting this and put star mark as well, 3-star mark. And one more application is there. You all may be thinking that, sir, is it possible to go for using only for positive integers? No, even it can be extended for negative integers as well. But that concept has been not discussed in this chapter. So do remember that point also. To compute HCF for given in general integers, so it includes both positive and negative integers, except 0, because 0 cannot be taken. The reason is, when you take 0 in the denominator, it will be undefined. Again, I am reminding you, second one is very important. Definitely, there will be one question on this, that is finding the HCF for given two positive integers by using Euclid's division algorithm. Yeah. Okay. Now we are moving to the second. No. We do not have other algorithm. To find out the HCF, we have division method. Is it not? Which you have already learnt in 6th standard. But here, to find out the HCF of the given positive integers, we go for using some certain steps. And we call that as Euclid's division algorithm. That will be discussed in the later part of this chapter. Now, let us focus on the second important properties of positive integers, that is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Right? Second one. Side heading. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Second one. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Just let it be in short form. Observe. Dear students, before going to the statement of fundamental theorem of arithmetic, just we shall recall some of the basic terms. See that here, F is fundamental, nothing but basic. Theorem, T is theorem, which is a mathematical statement which is used for, which can be proved logically. Right? And arithmetic, it's a branch of mathematics. What is that fundamental theorem? Dear students, you are very familiar with both multiplication and factorization, right? If I go for writing 2 into 3 is equal to 6, then whether it is multiplication or factorization, it is, yes, you are right, it is multiplication, because here we have found out the product of 2 and 3. Even this can also be written in the reverse order, as 6 can be written as 2 into 3. And this method of expressing the given number as the product of its factors. Not only that, even 6 can be written as 6 into 1 also. And these two are called factorization. Factorization. In yesterday's class only, we have come across the prime numbers. Here, if you express the given number as the product of its prime factors only, if the given number is expressed as the product of its prime factors only, then it is called prime factorization. And this is an example for prime factorization. Just I'll go for taking some other. Let's go for finding the prime factorization of the number 20. Should not go for writing anything, whatever I'm writing. Just to listen carefully. I told you that we are going to find out the prime factorization of 20. 20, let us start dividing this by 2, as it is even number. 2 tens are, then 2 5s are, then 5 1s are, should it be written? No need, because we want only the prime factors. Here 2, 2 and 5 are the prime factors. So now we can write 20 as 2 into 2 into 5. Can also be written as 2 is repeated by 2 times. Hence I'll write 2 square into 5. Followed? So this is the prime factorization of 20. Even I'll go for 30 as well. Here I'll write 30. Let's go for finding the prime factorization of 30. See that here it can be divided by 3. 3 ones are, zeros are. Here 2 5s are. Now I can write 30 as 2 into 3 into 5, or 3 into 2 into 5, or 5 into 2 into 3. Whatever the order it may be, the factors will be same. That is only fundamental theorem of arithmetic. And here, whatever the numbers, that is 20, 6 and 30 we have taken, all these are composite numbers, right? And these composite numbers, as each of these composite numbers is expressed as the product of its prime factors. Observe, 6 is written as 2 into 3, 20 is written as 2 square into 5, then 30 is written as 3 into 2 into 5. But the order, whatever the order it may be, and factors will be unique. When you find out the prime factorization of 30, you will get 3, 2 and 5 only. No other factors. There are order may be changed. When you find out the prime factorization of 20, you will get 2, 2 and 5 only. No other factors are possible. Now, let me make the statement of FDA, Fundamental Theorem of Arithmetic. Listen carefully. It is, yet any composite number can be taken. Each and every composite number can be expressed as the product of its prime factors. And this prime factorization is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occur. Here, once you recall with me, Fundamental Theorem of Arithmetic states that every composite number is expressed as the product of its prime factors. And this prime factorization is unique apart from the order in which the factors occur. Hope that you have understood. This is another very important statement in the examination point of view. Even it has been asked also, like state Fundamental Theorem of Arithmetic. So put 3 star mark and go for writing the statement with me. 3 star mark for Fundamental Theorem of Arithmetic. Right. It states that put comma, start with inverted comma. Every composite number can be expressed as the product of its prime factors. As the product of its primes, nothing but prime factors. Its prime factors. Then write, put full stop and write. This factorization, nothing but prime factorization. This factorization is unique apart from the order in which the factors occur. Yes. Close with inverted comma and put full stop. Please, once you go through the given statement, it is every composite number can be expressed as the product of its prime factors. And this prime factorization is unique apart from the order in which the factors occur. Then just below that, in note, you just go for writing just only 2 points in note. The first point is right composite number. Just I am writing it in short form. The statement in short form as how to write composite number? Yes, as a product of prime factors. So we can write composite number is equal to product of primes. Just write primes. This is one. Another point is just to take any one example. Here I'll write 20. Now 20 is a composite number. It can be expressed as a product of its prime factors as we have written that 2 square into 5. Even you have learnt about this prime factorization in your previous class, in that is in 6th, 7th, even 8th and 9th as well. Is it not? They have come across the division method and factor tree method. Even those will also be discussed in the later part of this chapter. Now we are going to focus on some important applications of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. If you have written up to here, then write side heading applications of FTA. Side heading applications of FTA. Right. Applications of FTA. They are first one. You are very familiar with the two important concepts. One is the highest number from which the given numbers can be divided, which is called HCF, right? And another one is least common multiple or lowest common multiple, nothing but LCM. So to find out the HCF and LCM of the given numbers, we will go for using FTA, fundamental theorem of arithmetic. This is first application, right? To find the HCF and LCM of given positive integers. Given positive integers. Right. To find the HCF and LCM of given positive integers. And second one, you are very familiar with the number which cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, where with a condition where P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0. So it is an irrational number. So to prove the given number as irrational number, we will go for using application of, the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. It is used to prove the irrationality of numbers, right? In proving irrationality of numbers. Like to prove root 2 as irrational, you use FTA. Not only this, root 3, root 7, root 11, 2 root 5, even for binomial also, we will go for using fundamental theorem of arithmetic. And third important application, we know that whether it may be the rational number or irrational number, both can be expressed in decimal form. And these decimal numbers, either it will be terminating or it will be non-terminating recurring, or it may be non-terminating non-recurring. If you go for taking the first two, that is terminating decimal expansion, and another one is non-terminating decimal expansion with non-terminating recurring decimal expansion. Hope that you are understanding. Just I'll give you an example. See that here 3.125. We know that terminating decimal expansion of one number, and another one is it is 0.333 and so on. It is non-terminating recurring. It is the decimal expansion of another number. If the numbers are given, to decide whether its decimal expansion is terminating or non-terminating recurring, we will go for using fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Here, once I repeat, to decide the decimal expansion of the given number is terminating or non-terminating recurring. Right. So it is used to decide the decimal expansion. It is used to decide the decimal expansion on the given number. One number is terminating or non-terminating recurring. Non-terminating recurring. To decide the decimal expansion of the given number is terminating or non-terminating recurring, we will go for using fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Among these, which concept, which application is to be used in this chapter? See, all the applications are important and all are to be discussed. Hence, we have to put box for first one and put a star mark, second one put a star mark, even for third one as well. Hope that you have written. Now we are moving to solve the problems on Euclid's division lemma as well as fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Let's go for taking one by one. First, let us solve the problems on Euclid's division algorithm. Write down the side heading, worked examples. Worked examples. So before going to that, if you have any doubt regarding the concepts what I have taught you so far, you can ask me. So just 1 minute, let's use it for discussion. Afterwards, we'll move on to solve the problems. If any doubts are there, you can ask me. Or else we'll move on to the problems. So far we have learned. Okay. So far we have learned two important statements. One is Euclid's division algorithm. Second one is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Both are very important in the examination point of view. Any one statement can be asked. So that I have made you to put star mark on these two. Please learn without fail. Right. Side heading. Worked examples. Worked examples. Worked examples means these are some of the problems which have already been solved in the text. So I'm going to take few such examples. First one. Dear students, you all know that one of the important application of Euclid's division algorithm It is used to find out the HCF of given positive integers. Now let us come to know how to find out the HCF. Right now, write the question. Find the HCF of the following. Find the HCF of the following using Euclid's division algorithm. Euclid's division algorithm or lemma. Both that you are written. Now, write the first one. I'll take from the textbook one, NCERT textbook. It is right. 455 and 42. I've taken simple example for this. Let us find out the
I can't listen your voice.
455 and 42. Hope that you have written. Now, please don't go for writing anything. Observe carefully. Observe carefully. Here, as it is algorithm, as I said, according to the definition of algorithm, here to solve a particular type of problem, we'll go for using some certain steps which cannot be shuffled. So here also I'm going to follow the same thing. Here 455 and 42. In this, I take 455 as dividend and 42 as divisor. Okay. 455. We know that it is greater than 42. Let us express this in the form of A is equal to BQ plus R. That is, we are very familiar with the statement A equal to BQ plus R. Let's express in that form. Hence, in the working column here, I'll divide 455 by 42. Here, 42. Here, I cannot take just one digit. Hence, I'll take two digits. 45. Now, 42 ones are 42. Then 3 will remain. Now carry down 5 is 35. Then 42 zeros are 0. Then 35. Very simple. 42 tens are 420 and 35 will remain. So I'll write that in the form of A equal to BQ plus R. That is 455 can be written as 42 tens are plus 35. Here, remainder is 35, which is not equal to 0. Now, this division process should be continued till we get the remainder as 0. Now, observe it. This divisor 42 and remainder 35. Here, 42 is greater than 35. Let us divide 42 by 35. Here, right, 42. Let's divide this by 35. 35. Ones are 35. You'll get the remainder as 7. And it can be written as 42 can be written as 35. Ones are then plus remainder 7. Again, observe the remainder. Here, remainder is not equal to 0. Again, it should be continue to divide. Here, 35 and 7 is there. And dividing 35 by 7. 7.
7 5 sir.
35. Very good. It is 0. Now we can write 35 as 7 5s are 7 5s are then plus remainder is 0.
0.
So according to Euclid's division lemma, the process should be continued till we get 0 as the remainder. After getting 0 as remainder, then the divisor will be the HCF. Then which is the divisor here? in the last statement, the divisor is 7.
7.
Hence, therefore, HCF of the given numbers 455 and 42 is 7. Hope that you have understood. Now, please go for copying this. So, here you should write 455 is greater than 42. Then we are going to follow Euclid's division algorithm, right? By Euclid's division algorithm, 455 can be written as 42 tensor plus 35. That has been shown in the working column. Next, 42 is equal to 35 1s plus 7. Then again, remainder is not equal to 0. Hence, we should write 35 as 7 5s plus 0. Now remainder is 0. Therefore, the divisor 7 is HCF. Write this conclusion. Therefore, HCF of 455 and 42 is 7. You may copy this in the working column. Actually, we don't expect this in the examination. We want only these steps. I'll tell you the next problem. I'll go for taking another simple problem only. Right. So let me go for rubbing this. Right. Second one. Second one is, it is 135 and 225. Second one, 135 and 225. 135 and 225. This time, please go on writing with me. Start writing with me. It is, you know that here the greater one is 225. First write that one. 225 is greater than 135. Now, you may go for applying Euclid's division algorithm. Now, start dividing 225 by 135. You can write it directly. If you feel with discomfort, then you can go for using working column. Let us divide 225 by 130. Here, if you go for taking 135 2s, it will be 270. Hence, we can go for taking 1s. So 135 1s, 135. Then observe the remainder. Here it is 0. 12 minus 3 is 9. Then it is 90. Now we can write it as 225 can be written as 135 1s plus remainder. Remainder is 90. Here the remainder is not equal to 0. Hence, now it should be continued to apply Euclid's division algorithm. Let us divide 135 by 90. 135 by 90. Yes, divide. Hope that you have divided.
45, sir.
45, sir.
Yes, yes, very good, very good. Okay. Very good. Here, 90, 1s are 90. Because when you go for taking 2s, it will be 180, which is more than 135. Hence, 1s are, remainder will be, here it is 5, 13 minus 9 is 4. You are right. 135 can be written as 90 1s plus remainder is 45. Again, the remainder is not equal to 0. Hence, again, continue to apply Euclid's division algorithm. Divide 90 by 45. It's very simple. These two are very simple numbers. 45 2s are 90. Again, no need to go for using the working column. Write it directly. 90 can be written as 45 twos are 45 twos are, then plus remainder is 0. Now, as the remainder is 0, the divisor 45 will be HCF, right? Therefore, HCF of 135 and 130, 225, 135, 225, or 225 and 135, whatever the order it may be, is 45. Yes. Hope that you have written with me. Now, let me go for taking one more example. After that, we'll move on to other different type of problem. And third one should also be written with me, but it is big number. It is also from the textbook only, NCERT textbook. Right. Third one. Here look at this. Third sub question. This is right. It is 4052. 4052 and 12,576. 12,576. Let's go for finding this. Please go on writing with me. Solution. Here, greater number is 12,576. Hence, that's right. 12,576 is greater than 4,052. To find out the HCF of these two numbers, we are going to apply Euclid's division algorithm. According to that, these two numbers should be expressed in the form of A equal to BQ plus R. Here I am using the working column. Start dividing 12,576 by 4,052. Observe here. It's very simple. The big numbers are there. Just go for taking their approximate number. 4,052. It is approximately, we can take it as 4,000. Here 12,576 is there. Can be taken as 12,000. Say this is 4,000 and is 12,000. 4,000. How much is 12,000? It will be 3s are. So right. 3s are. Now 3 2s are 6. 3 5s are 15. Carry 1. 3 0s are 0 plus 1. As it is 1. 3 4s are 12. Now find out the difference. 6 minus 6. 0. 7 minus 5. 2. 5 minus 1. 4. Not 420. It is 420. This number should be read as 420. Okay. Now let us write 12,576 can be written as 4,052 into 3 plus 420. Now observe the remainder. Remainder 420 is not equal to 0. Hence, this Euclid's division algorithm should be continued. Now, here, let us divide 4,052 by 420. When you go for taking 3 digits, it is 405. It is 420. It is not possible to divide. Hence, we need to take all the 4 digits.
420 into 9.
Very good. Here also you can go for taking the approximate number. Here 4,052. Take it as 4,000 and 420. It's 10. 420 tens are. It will be 4,200. But it cannot be taken. Hence, we can go for 9s up. Right? 9s up.
3780.
0, 9 2s are 18, carry 1, 9 4s are 36 plus 1.
3780.
Very good. 3780. Now, remainder will be
420.
10, 15.
272.
15 minus 8 is 7. Then 9 will remain. 9 minus 7 is 2. 3 will remain. 3 minus 3 is
272.
272. Hope that you have got the same. Yes. Let us write 4052 as 420 plus 270. So here the remainder 270, again it is not equal to 0. Let's continue to apply Euclid's division algorithm. Please go on writing with me. See, when the big numbers are given, patience is very important. Don't go for hurry. Just go for solving it neatly. Okay, let us divide 420 by 272.
272 into 1.
One.
Very good. If you go for taking 2, it will be more than 420. Hence, you can go for 1. For 272 1, 272. Then subtract. There 10 minus
148.
148.
148.
11 minus 7 is 4. And 3
148.
140. Good. Now let us write 420 as 272 1s are plus 148. Observe the remainder. It is not equal to 0. Continue to divide 272 by 140. You can write it direct. Yes.
CF is what, sir?
No doubt. Very good. You are right. Here 272. It can be written directly or else. Let's go for using working part. Here, let us divide 272 by 148. Now, 148 is more than 272. That is
Plus 124.
Hence, I'll go for taking 1, sir. 148 1, sir. 148.
124.
Correct. Here, 12 minus 8 is 4. 6 is there. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 120. You have got the same. Now 272 can be written as 148 1s are plus 120. 148 1s are plus 124. Now you can notice that remainder is again not equal to 0. Continue. And these two numbers are very small numbers. 148 and 124. It is easy for writing in the form of A equal to BQ plus R without using the working column. So let us write 148 is there. Here 124. Hope that you are understanding. 124 1s are 124. Then 124 will remain
24, sir.
right. Next remainder is not equal to 0. Here 124 and here 24. 124 can be written as 24. How much, sir?
5.
Very good. 5, sir. 24. 5, sir. 120.
Plus 4.
Next, 24 is there. Hope that you can see if I write here only. Here 4 is
6,
not equal to 0. Let us divide 24 by 4. 24 can be written as
4 6.
6 are 24.
Plus 0.
Then the remainder is 0. Here the divisor is 4. Hence the HCF is 4.
4.
And below this step, please go for writing the conclusion, not in the working column. Below this step, I do not have space, hence I am writing here. Therefore, HCF of 12,576 and 4,052 is 4052 is 4. Yes. This problem and previous problem, both are very important. Please put 3-star mark for both. Second one and third one. Put 3-star mark. The previous one, I think 225 and 135. That is, and for this also, put 3-star mark. Both are very important. They must be practiced. Even in the examination, they may give you the problem like this just by changing the number. Now we are moving to the next type of problem on Euclid's division algorithm. Yes, let me rub this. Look here. Now, let's move on to the next type. Before going to that, just let me introduce or let us recall the concept what we had learned in the last class. We are very familiar with the natural numbers. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Even we have learned how to identify the even numbers as well as odd numbers. Even numbers, these are the numbers which are divisible by 2. They are 2, 4, 6, and so on. And the remaining numbers which are not divisible by 2, they are called odd numbers. These are even numbers. 2, 4, and 6 are even numbers. 1, 3, and 5, and so on. They are called odd numbers. In your previous classes, you have learned about the pattern of numbers. The pattern of numbers can also be applied to even as well as odd numbers. We know that all natural numbers in general, the natural numbers can be represented as n. N is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. If it is even number, we know that it is the multiple of 2. Hence, it can be written as 2n. Hope that you are understanding. Where n is natural number, if you substitute 1 in place of it, it will be 2 1s are 2. Next, 2 2s are 4. 4 is an even number. Similarly, 2 3s are 6 is an even number. Whereas odd number can be expressed. Yes. Odd number can be written as either 2n plus 1 or 2n minus 1. See, even number, odd number, it will be either greater than even number by 1. Hence, we have written 2n plus 1. Or it may be less than the even number by 1. Hence, we have written 2n minus 1. Hope that you are understanding. So, this is the pattern to express even numbers as well as odd numbers with the natural numbers. Once I repeat, natural numbers are denoted by, can be written in general as n. Even numbers, it is 2n. Odd numbers, it is 2n plus 1 or 2n minus 1. But we will go for focusing only on this 2n plus 1. Not only this, even the even numbers can also be written in other form as, see that 4n, then 6n, 8n. When you go for writing any number in place of n, again you will get one number only. And then how to write the odd numbers? Odd numbers can also be written as 4n plus 1, then 6n plus 1, then 8n plus 1. Hope that you are all understanding this. Next, this 4n plus 1, even we can write the odd number as 4n plus 3. When you substitute any number in place of n, suppose you may take 5. 4 5s are 20. 20 plus 3, 23, odd number. Similarly, here 6n plus 3, 6n plus 5. In the same way, here 8n plus 3, 8n plus 5, 8n plus 7. See, these are all the different patterns of odd numbers. Understood? If anybody has not understood, please ask me. If you want, I'll go for explaining it once, or else I'll go for taking a problem. So this is the way we can express the even numbers, and these are the different ways which we use for expressing odd numbers. Got it? If anybody is having the doubt, you can ask me. Now, if not, we shall move on to solve the problems. Right. Second one. Wait, the second question, it is again from the textbook. Show that every positive even integer, show that every even positive integer is of the form 2q is of the form 2q. Either q may be even, it can be written as 2n, 2m, 2x, like that also they may give. Got it? Even they may give you the question as show that every even positive integer is of the form 4n, 6n, 8n, and so on. Just I am taking the textbook problem only as they have given. It is in the form of 2q. And one more statement is there in that. And that every odd positive integer is of the form. Hope that you are able to tell, you are able to recall. It is, if 2q is even, then odd number will be, just if odd number is greater than even number by 1, we can write 2q plus 1. Where here q is taken as an integer. Right, where q is some integer. Yes. Now, please go on writing with me. Let's go for proving the statement. Right, prove. If question is there, we will go for writing the word called answer. If the problem is given, we'll write solution. If the statement is asked to check, then we'll go for writing verification. But here we are going to show that or prove that the given statement. Hence we have to write the proof. Hope that you have written proof. Once you go through the statement, show that every even positive integer is of the form 2q and that of odd positive integer is of the form 2q plus 1. Even this is also to be proved by using Euclid's division algorithm. We do not know what is that positive integer. Positive integer is not given. Hence, let us assume that as a, right, let a be a positive integer. Then let me go for assuming another integer as b, and a is greater than b. Let a be a positive integer and a is greater than b. Then if you go for using Euclid's division algorithm for this, How can it be written? Yeah, it can be written as A equal to BQ plus R, where the condition for R is 0 is less than or equal to or less than B, and call this as statement 1. Once I repeat, we do not know what is that positive integer. We have assumed that positive integer as A, and if that A is divided by B, hence we have written A is greater than B, then by using Euclid's division algorithm, we have written A equal to BQ plus R. Observe here 2Q and 2Q plus 1 is there. 2Q is of the form BQ. Hence, what can be substituted in place of B? We can write 2. Very good. 2. Just let us write substitute B equal to 2. Substitute. Don't write the word called put. Use this word. Substitute B equal to 2 in statement 1. Then statement 1 can be written as A is equal to 2Q plus R. Here, what is 2? In this statement, 2 is called divisor. If any number is divided by 2, then what will be the possible remainders? I've already told you that in the very beginning of this
or 1,
class.
sir.
Very good.
0 or 1.
0 and 1. If the number is divided by 2, the possible remainders will be 0 and 1. If it is divided by 3, the possible remainders will be 0, 1,
0, 1.
Okay, here we have taken where R is equal to 0 and 1. Now, here I'll continue. Please go on writing with me. Let us take 0 in place of R. If R equal to 0, then I can write the statement as A is equal to 2Q plus R, where R is 0. 2Q plus 0. Then 2Q plus 0, it is 2Q only. Observe, it is the number which is the multiple of 2, is it not? Even it is also divisible by 2. What do you call a number which is divisible by 2? It is
Even number.
1. Hope that you all have understood this. So here you go. Here I take this statement as 2. Next, if R equal to 1 more possibility is there. Now I can write A is equal to 2Q plus, where R is 1. 2Q plus 1. Observe, is it divisible by 2? It is not a multiple of 2, or it is not divisible by 2, because here 2Q is even. When you add 1 to any even number, you'll get odd number. Hence, this is odd. Right. This is statement 3. Here you write statement 2. The statement 2 is divisible by 2. Therefore, it is odd, which is 2. Sorry, it is even. 2Q is even. Therefore, 2Q is even. Next, statement 3. Observe this. A equal to 2Q plus 1. It is not divisible by 2. So, here you can write statement 3 is not divisible by 2. It's not divisible by 2. Therefore, 2Q plus 1 is odd. Final conclusion can be written as hence, yes, go for writing. Hence, every even positive integer, please go on writing. Hence, every even positive integer is of the form 2Q, and odd positive integer is of the form 2Q plus 1. Hence, every
Tell another time, sir.
Yes.
Dictate once again.
Hence, every even positive integer, here I'll continue, I don't have space. Every even positive integer is of the form 2q, and odd positive integer is of the form 2q plus 1. It may not be visible to you clearly, hence I am making the statement. Please do write the same. Final conclusion, it is, hence every even positive integer is of the form 2q, and odd positive integer is of the form 2q plus 1. Hope that you all have understood. Yes. Now, dear students, now it is a time for concluding the class. Just I'll give you only 1 or 2 minutes to ask your doubts. If you have any doubt, please ask me. If we may conclude the class. And do remember, every day you'll be having the assignment. Assignment questions is not just giving you some questions for practicing. I am going to give you the questions which are very important in the examination point of view, and which will cover the concepts of the given chapter. And these assignments should be written in your worksheets. If any doubt is there, you can ask me. And one more information, and put just double star mark for this. Put double star mark for this. It's also one of the important statement. Some other very important statements are there. They have to be discussed in the tomorrow's class. So every day in the evening from 6 to 7:30, I'll be available for getting clarification about your to get the clarification about your doubts. You may call me, or else you can send the message to my WhatsApp number. Evening from 6 to 7:30. 6 to 7:30, it is doubt clarification class. Because every day you will sit in the evening for working out. Hence, you may come across the doubt. If any doubt is there, between that, in that time, you can get clarification. Okay. Now, today I'll send the worksheets. Please go for, worksheet questions. Please go for solving them. Let us stop the class. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.